marriage below the age of 21 years, it is an offense punishable under law.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Many child marriages have been stopped
Yeah. 1 minute,
in
sir.
many parts of the country. See, we are all in a very safe environment and we should be very thankful to our parents to give us a good education, to give us a good career. But there are still children who suffer without even a basic amenities or basic needs they could not satisfy in their life. And in such situation, the parents make the children to forcefully they get them married and they send them to another house. In the age of holding the books, they hold the babies. This is what happening in many rural parts of India. Even now it is happening. It's not a joke. For us it may be a joke. For somebody it is a pain. There are girl children who are given in marriage as soon as they attain their puberty. With so many dreams of studying more to get settled well in their career, all their dreams are being suppressed and they are given in marriage. Okay, we should feel very thankful to the God or to our parents to give us such a beautiful environment and a beautiful life. So this is Child Marriage Restraint Act. Then, then as our one of our friends said, POCSO Act, protection of children from sexual offences. That is the need of the hour. That act is the need of the hour because we are all now very much addicted to the social media. Every day we get some information or other with respect to this POCSO Act. Am I right? There are burning issues which is happening around us with respect to this POCSO. Under the POCSO Act, a child is a person who is 18 and below 18. A person who is of the age of 18 and below 18 is termed as a child. Now, what all kind of sexual offences are attributed to a child? What are all the sexual offences that the children undergo in our society? The children are being kidnapped. The children are being orally molested. And it goes up to the extreme level of rape. Now, because why this session was connected for the children of your age group is that this is the age group where the mind is in an oscillation. You can't believe who is good or bad. You think that whoever comes up with the sweet words are good. Whoever advises you, they are bad. This is the age because we have also crossed that age and we have come here. Only in this age, mind will always get attracted to people who shower sweet words. Obviously, parents will not be showering sweet words all the time. It is only a hurry and a fast life. Parents have to move to office, children have to move to school. Whether you are studying well, whether you are eating well, whether you are sleeping well, that will be the concern of a parent. A parent cannot always be smiling, laughing, and that will be an artificial way of expressing. The person who cares and has a concern cannot pour out sweet words. This makes the children get attracted to third person who is always ready to shower sweet words until their intentions are fulfilled. Am I right? Can you understand what I say? Yeah. This is the age a girl or a boy to get attracted to people who pour out sweet words. Many POCSO cases in court are of this kind of nature. It is. The girls below the age of 18 years, they tend to get attracted to their opposite sex. And they immediately they start bunking the classes. They move out of the school. They start roaming with the guy. And they get spoiled there. This is one kind of sexual offense. There are cases where the children without any parents, without any support. There are many children who are parents without parents. They are being exploited or molested by their own relatives, their own known people. And there are extreme cases. You need to know this because there are extreme cases where their own biological father also sexually molest their own daughter. That is also happening. See, POCSO is not meant for girls alone. It is not a gender sensitive. It is not a gender sensitive law. POCSO is equally applicable to male children as well. Male children are also sexually molested by many. You would have come across in the social media. There are the neighbors or the elderly male persons who exploit boys as well. There are many cases coming up in school, in the court, before the court. Their own stepfather, what ultimately you have to do? You should keep yourself in a protected environment. Every time some 4 or 5 people can't be guarding protection. The protection is inside us. We need to know whom to be allowed inside our life or not. You should be brave enough to retaliate. When somebody is approaching you with a bad intention, you should know that it is with bad intention that person is approaching you and how to retaliate. So only in the curriculum, there are many schools which impart karate, all the self-defense are being imparted to both the children. Just to protect, see, all the time 24/7, a parent cannot accompany you wherever you go. 24/7, a guardian cannot accompany you or a teacher cannot accompany you. It is your self-defense. So under POCSO Act, there are offences which is done by our own neighbors. The peculiar nature of POCSO is that only rare cases the child is being abducted, kidnapped, and put to sexual offense. Otherwise, 90% of the POCSO cases, it is the known persons who commit the offense. You get me? It is only the known circle of people who commit POCSO offences on the children. Either a family friend, or a neighbor, or a driver, or a tuition teacher, or anybody who is just moving around you and watching you when you are available alone, when he can approach you alone or she can approach you alone. There are cases where even female tuition teachers who have excelled. That is a case in Tamil Nadu, and judgment has been pronounced. So I can say that. See, there was a tuition teacher in Tamil Nadu who exploited voices. That's what I say. We are all safe here. We are all safe here. But world is not so. World is not so. So these are the important aspects in the POCSO Act. See, in POCSO, the offences are categorized into two. I don't know whether I can express whatever there in the Act, but to some extent I will try to explain. POCSO is mainly relating to sexual offences on children. So, there are two types, sexual assault and penetrative sexual assault. Sexual assault is the other things, the orally whatever is done to the child. And of course, the other part is rape. Since the case has been started, I can't talk more about the current issue which was happening in Pondicherry a few months back. See, that resulted up to the death of the child. The child was unable to withstand the sexual torture and she suffered breathlessness and she died. And immediately the child was wrapped and she was thrown in the drainage. So this is the situation. So these laws, see the main drawback, what I would say personally is Nowadays, people are more and more selfish and narrow-minded. When I was a child, when I was standing in a road alone, any elder who is passing by will ask, "Why you are standing alone? ஏமா தனியா நிக்கிற யார் கூட இல்லையா?" But these days, nobody is bothered about the other person. If a child is standing alone, do any of us have a tendency to ask, "Why are you standing alone?" This is not our problem. Let us stand alone. That is the mentality now. We don't have time for others. We all owe a social responsibility. We all have a responsibility towards the society, towards co-human being. If a child is standing alone in a road, as a human being, as a citizen, we also owe a duty to ask, "Why you are standing alone?" Whatever these social cases happen, one or the other person should have ignored what is happening there. When a child is taken away by a stranger, or when a child is very uncomfortable with a stranger, the people around can very well question, "Who are you?" You can ask the child, "Who is he?" But that tendency doesn't come for any human being these days. So we also owe a responsibility to the society. Sometimes we also become a reason behind all this. Because every human being has a duty towards their co-human being, especially when the co-human being is under some suffering or under some problem. So you young generation, you can have a broader vision. You can spend some time of your life for the society as well. Because we don't know, from here emanates an MLA, from here emanates an MP, from here emanates a minister. From here only the future India is coming out. So, too much of selfishness, too much of narrow-mindedness. So when we are at fault or when we are at problem, nobody will come for our rescue. Am I right? We expect somebody to help us, but we should have the tendency to help others as well. In many of the POCSO cases, when the cases are going on trial, we could see the witnesses. I saw the boy taking the child. You saw the boy taking the child. Why did you question the boy? What for you are taking the child? Whether the parents know that you are taking the child. So we also owe a moral and social responsibility towards the society. Okay, these are all POCSO laws. Then comes any idea of who is a juvenile. Yes. Exactly. A person who is below the age of 18 years and who has committed an offense, he is termed as juvenile. There is an act, Juvenile Protection and Regulation Act. So, under the law, 18 years and below is a child. And a child who commits an offense becomes a juvenile. Whether the juvenile can be treated on par with the other hardened criminals. So what would be done? What would be done? Some reformation. Some kind of reformation to the juvenile. See, law categorizes children up to 7 years of age. Up to 7 years of age, a child is termed as doli incapax. Doli incapax. Incapax in the sense capacity, in no capacity. A child below the age of 7 years is termed as doli incapax, which means that child below the age of 7 years is not capable of doing anything wrong. Am I right? They will not have the mental intention to do anything wrong. If any act done by them will not amount to an offense. Can you get me what I say? Any child below the age of 7 years, they are called as doli incapax because they will not have the capacity to commit an offense. So, to commit an offense, what is essential? To commit an offense, what is essential? Intention. To commit an offense, first there should be an intention. Then the intention should be followed by an act. Any offense or a crime is termed as the mens rea followed by an actus reus. That is a Latin word. Mens rea is the mental intention, which is followed by an actus reus, which is an act. To do any offense, whether it is a small offense or it's a big offense, even take a small example of theft. First of all, I should have an intention to take her pen. With that intention, when in her absence I will take her pen. That is the act. Just to bully her or just to make her search for something, I have taken the pen. That will not amount to a theft. That intention is different. So any offense, what are the two important aspects? Mental intention followed by an act. It amounts to an offense. Now, whatever laws we have seen so far, the more specific act with respect to child offenders, we can't even say them as offenders. They are all termed as child in conflict with law. We can't even address the child as an offender. We can't address the child as an accused, like other persons who are above the age of 18. They can be addressed only as child in conflict with law. So the Juvenile Act was mainly focused, or it was enacted in the year 2015 only with an intention to reform the children who are in conflict with law. In every district, there is a juvenile justice board to hear the cases, juvenile cases. And based on the veracity of the offense they have committed, they will be given with the counseling. If it is a small offense, they make the child to go with the parents and they direct them to appear for counseling sessions. And if the offense is more serious, if it is a heinous offense, they will be put in the home and they will be given education in the home itself. They will not be sent with their parents. And all these juvenile cases, as per the Juvenile Justice Act, even as per the POCSO Act, whatever cases involving children of the age 18 and below, that will happen in the court in an in-camera proceedings. Any idea what is an in-camera proceedings? All other public or people who are totally unconnected to the case cannot witness it. There will be a screen while examining the victimized children. There will be a screen. Only the judge and the consent to advocates can see the child. It is in the welfare of the child. Considering the future of the child should not get exposed to the media or to the public. So considering the welfare and future of the child, the proceeding should happen within the screen. And as far as juvenile is concerned, it is the same. Children who are in conflict with law, that is below 18 years, once who have committed the offense, it will also happen in a close proximity. Not that everybody can look into it. It is all done in the concern and welfare of the children. Whether they are the victim or whether they are the children in conflict with law. So these are all the proceedings. Then, in a POCSO Act, when a child is to be examined for the first time with respect to the complaint, the child should be examined only along with the child's guardian. The child cannot be examined alone. That is against law. Either the child, mother has to accompany. If mother is not there, father If both the national guardian are not available, then a guardian appointed through court, or if the child happen to be an orphan, where she is staying or he is staying, the head of the home, who happen to be the legalized guardian of the child, should be there. Without the presence of the guardian, a child cannot be examined in a POCSO case. 3 stages will be there. As soon as the complaint was given, either the CWC, any idea what is CWC? Child Welfare Committee. Every district has a CWC. So the child's complaint will be examined before the Child Welfare Committee. Even at that time, the child should be accompanied by a guardian, either a biological guardian or a legal guardian. Then next stage is to examine the child before the police or before the magistrate, where her statement is recorded. Even the magistrate has to record the statement of the child only in the presence of the guardian. Then, while examining the child before the special court, the POCSO court, even at that time, the guardian should be present around. The guardian cannot enter the witness box, but they have to be around. And whatever questions the defense counsel wanted to put it to the child, they should only convey it to the judge, and the judge will convey the question to the child. Why is it so? When we want to examine a witness in the court, normally we straight away put the questions to the witnesses. But in a child case, it is not so. Because sometimes whatever questions the defense counsel directly asks the child, that may disturb the child mentally. Some children get scared as well. Because court is a new atmosphere for them. If they are put to a lot of sexual harassment, they are mentally disturbed as well. So a child cannot be directly questioned by a defense counsel. Any question should be conveyed to the judge, and the judge will in turn put the question to the child. So POCSO court is a special court. Now it is formed in every district in the interest or now you come back to the first portion, right to education, right to protection. Under right to protection comes protection against child labor and protection against sexual offences. So these two acts are very, very important in terms of right to protection for a child. Then right to participation. What do you expect as a right to participation? What do you expect? As children, what do you expect to be your right of participation?
Our opinion shouldn't be suppressed.
Your?
Our opinion shouldn't be suppressed.
Yes, exactly. You should be given with an opportunity to voice out on issues relating to the society. You should be given with an opportunity. Then, in terms of education, in terms of sports, in terms of other extracurricular activities, irrespective of their financial status, irrespective of their sexes, male or female, they should be given the, irrespective of their complexion, irrespective of their caste, irrespective of their religion. There should not be any discrimination in terms of any child who want to participate in other extracurricular activities representing their state or representing their school or representing their nation. You are watching the social media. These days, all children get an opportunity to get represented, either from a poor strata or from an economically well strata. Only the, what do you say? If he is capable enough, he can shine. Nowadays, these things are decreasing, but some 5 decades before, it is not so. One particular strata of people get recognized more, and weaker sections remain a weaker section. But now it is not the case. Everybody, whomever has the capacity to, whomever has the potential, they are given with an opportunity to shine. So, right to participation is purely opportunity based. Every children should get an opportunity to participate. There are many student debates, student uh, like conversations, student speech, expos happening everywhere in the country. Any new topic with relating to the administration of justice or any new topic with respect to governance, it is also addressed by the students. You can see in the English channels, 24 into 7 news channel, we see many students participation who are also speaking or voicing out about the, even with respect to the NEET, which is a burning topic now. So you can't deviate yourself, you can't suppress yourself from voicing out. Parents will say many things, whatever they feel like, but ultimate victims will be the students. So whatever opinion you feel like NEET is good or NEET is not essential, whatever it is, you have the right to participation in the society with respect to the issues that are governing us. So that is right to participation. Then right to development. What would be the development for a child? What you needed to be a right to development? Development is a kind of progress. So what development you seek? In terms of your career, in terms of your education, health, in terms of your health. So all these rights, right to development involves many things. See, in Constitution, there are fundamental duties as well as directive principles of state policy, along with fundamental rights. So a child who's also, there is a status for a child which has been formed in the mother's womb. The fetus also has the status of a child. The fetus which is formed inside the mother's womb. A 3 months old fetus is given with the status of a child under law. So, what would be the suffering of a child of 3 months inside the mother's fetus? Mother's womb. Malnutrition. Then, abortion. Mainly because this prenatal diagnostic procedures which is happening around the world, especially in a country like India. If the child in the womb is predicted to be a female child, then much chances to abort the child. So what happens is now the system is entirely changed. Now the system is entirely changed in developed places. But still it is happening in the more rural places. It is happening till it is happening. But now what happened was, there was a period where lot of female fetus were being aborted. So what happened? Now the ratio of male and female is 4:1. 4 boys are there, only 1 girl is there. So ultimately what will happen? During marriage that will be a problem. 3 men will be left alone. Am I right? 3 men will be left alone. So because of the earlier happenings, now the ratio of male and female has gone down to 4:1. So 3 boys have to be, they should remain unmarried. No other boy. Am I right? So all this happened because of the prenatal diagnosis techniques. What is the law concerning them? If any doctor who conducts the prenatal techniques just for the determination of the sex of the fetus, their name will be removed from the Medical Council of India. And they will be imposed with a fine for the first time. If they continue to do this act, they will be permanently removed from the Medical Council of India. But there are rare occasions in which prenatal diagnosis is permitted if it is in the if there are some critical situation of the baby or for the mother, it is permitted. But even then, the sex of the fetus should not be revealed to the parents. And if any parent or their relatives are forcing a doctor to determine the sex of the fetus, they will also be put to imprisonment. It ranges from 6 months, and during the process of the prenatal diagnostic techniques, if the mother dies or the fetus dies, then they will be handled according with Indian Penal Code. It also amounts to murder. So this is the situation. So as soon as a child is formed in the mother's womb also, there are problems which are faced by a child. So the law protects a child as soon as it is formed in the mother's womb. So we can just put it in a nutshell. What are all the laws concerning a child? Husband and wife, a child is formed in the mother's womb. There is a threat to the fetus, the life of the fetus. So there comes the Prenatal Diagnostic System Prohibition Act or Regularization Act. Sex determination of the fetus is an offense. When you go to a doctor, especially with a pediatrician or with a gynecologist, you will see a board affixed. Determination of sex is an offense. Punishable with fine, punishable with imprisonment. So we don't do all these activities in the hospital. Every hospital carries a board now. So this is the first stage. Now the child, as one of our friends said, malnutrition. The child inside the fetus should be nourished well. For that, the mother should be given with good, healthy food. Only whatever mother takes, that will go to the child. So, right of good food, healthy food and environment. Then the child comes out. The child should be given with proper education. That is the Right to Education Act of 2009. Up to the age of 14 years, that should be free and compulsory education. Every state should ensure free and compulsory education for a child. There is some deviation from that. They fail to give education to a child and they put the child in a hard labor. So as she said, it is prevention of child labor. Anybody who puts a child of below 18 years in a hard labor, they have to be punished. Under law, up to 2 years of imprisonment and with a fine. Then they are slowly moving on to their school, they are seeing the society. There comes the protection of children from sexual offences. Then the child who are in conflict with law or who have committed the offence, for their protection and reformation, Juvenile Justice Act. During the course of childhood, marriage should not take place. That is Child Marriage Prevention Act. Any child who is given in marriage below the age of 21 years, they are put to imprisonment. So these are all the major laws concerning the children. Now I want any one or two of you, either one from here and one from there, to just put it in a nutshell for a brief, whatever we have discussed. See, who is the child? What are all the rights of the child? What are all the acts governing the child? And what more you need? I want to know what more you need from our lawmakers or our people who govern us. I want your comments. What more you want? Any one or two from here or any one or two from there? First, let us say what you want. So, we want you to participate and express your expectations. What you want.
I want to drive a bike or car from the age of 16 because it is available.
I appreciate your interest, but you know the recent Bosch car case? Yes. That is the example for that. See, if a man below the age of 18 years, they should be physically, mentally fit enough to drive a vehicle. They should be physically and mentally fit enough to drive a vehicle or ride a motorcycle. Because law has fixed an age for doing anything. If below 7 years the boy is riding a bike and he hits, law says he is totally incapable of doing that. But up to the age of 18 years, whatever a child does, the parent becomes liable. Cycle. They will be unmindful of the traffic rules. They don't have a patience to wait in a traffic signal. Obviously, many accidents minor riders for which a parent is put to liability. So that is an age fixed by a government which we can't change it at all. Even we can add people who are more than 65 years or 70 years, they are also unable to manage the traffic mistakes. Maybe we can suggest to have a deadline or a age limit to have a license. But as my learned friend is interested to have in the 16 years, it is not possible. Okay. Many countries are following traffic rules. If you would have seen, problem is that see, India is the only country where there is a traffic police as well as a traffic signal. There are countries either traffic police will be there or traffic signal will be there. Here both are present, but we people don't respect them, which ultimately results in all accidents. If we are strictly following the rules and regulations, this may change in due course. Thank you.
I think children from 15 years can give a right to vote because they need that. Because the children are the right choosers.
Actually, it is good to know that somebody is willing to vote even below the age of 18. Because there are people who are above the age of 18, they don't come to election, they don't vote, cast their vote at all. They feel it as an unwanted issue. That is also an option. Okay, there is an option. What I say is, there are people who sit at home and watch TV or meddle with their cell phone and they don't even cast their vote. That is a basic right of a human being to get recognized as a citizen of a country. Again, the problem is below the age of 18 years, the mental capability of a person in choosing their leader will be lesser than a person who is above 21 years. Now, my friend started with the right to vote. Then my other friend will come and say, why can't we marry the age of 30? Slowly it will get transformed. See, other people are also voting. We can also be given with the right to vote. So there are rules and regulations framed by our leaders, framed in our Indian Constitution. There are aspects or provisions of law to say that an age of a person to decide, to think over, to have a good decision mentally is at the age of 18. So only it is fixed that above 18 years of age alone can vote. Below 18 years, it is not possible, and in due course also, it will not be possible. A man should be mentally equipped to choose their leader. Okay? When you people become leaders, maybe at the time if 15 plus children are more smarter than you people, we will think about it.
Hello everybody, my name is Kasyanja from 11th grade. So my children and followed by guidance. Next year I'm going to be 8 years old because I want to learn me.
Please.
Actually I'm 7 years old. Next year I'm going to be 18 years old. That means next election voting system will take in next year. That means I will be voting.
I can give you a first friend to vote. So you all can use the free friend to voting. Provided is issued with an election identity card. Without proper process, your vote cannot be entertained by the Election Commission of India. So he will be our first friend to cast your vote among our friends.
My name is Saswin from class 11 A2, and I have a small question about bike riding itself. So the thing is, according to my knowledge that I known like few years ago, it said that any bike non-geared below PCC and with a proper maintenance, proper knowledge, you can drive. But what now is it? You can't. So that's good.
If riding of bike is taken as a sport, it is a sport or for a competition, there are certain parameters to be followed by the persons who are conducting the sport, whatever it is. But whatever laws are, I am talking in respect of normal public, normal people in the society. See, even swimming is permitted, same way bike riding below the age of 18, if it is a sport, it will be carried out with the available safety systems. A bike rider will not be allowed to ride in the open road where the other people are riding their bike or driving their car. If it is, a sport is not a regular happening in a life. A sport cannot be a regular happening in a life. A sport to be taken as a sport. Whatever it is, that is proper examination, proper health and physical condition in a separate track competition is going to happen. Those persons will not be permitted to ride their bike in a regular road where other travelers are going.
And just from that I just have one question. Why there is no severe action for sexual harassment and for
Actually, my friend's question is why there is no severe action for the person who caused the sexual offences against the children. It is not so, it is severe. The punishments are very stringent. Actually, hanging alone is not, so far it is not being done in India. In other countries it is there. Otherwise, the punishments are stringent in India. They are given the 2 life sentence, 3 life sentence for the sexual offenders.
if there is severe action, then why it is still happening?
It is purely because of the lack of awareness. As I said when I explained about the act, a parent should know where their children or the child is moving about. And we as citizens of the country, we also owe a social responsibility to check on where the child is. If a child is standing alone, we should have the tendency to ask why you are standing alone. So it is purely lack of awareness about the laws as well as the social behavior of each and every human being. We all owe a responsibility. Okay, it is only lack of awareness. So it was a very useful, happy, and colorful morning to be here. And honestly, it was a very response was very good. The participation was very nice, and I personally expect few of my friends to become advocates in the near future. Anybody interested can do, because we are very much socially connected to we are very much connected to the society compared to other professions. And once again, thanks for this opportunity. I hope it was meaningful and useful to you all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for all the detailed and insightful knowledge about the Nyaya Odisha. And now I would like to call Reshma for the vote of thanks.
Respected Chief Guests, distinguished dignitaries, academic directors, faculty members, and dear students, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for creating this auspicious occasion, the inauguration ceremony of the Nyaya Olisa, with your presence and esteemed support. Our sincere thanks to our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Reena Aishwarya, Advocate of the Puducherry Court, whose insightful words have inspired us all today. Thank you, ma'am. A special thanks to the other distinguished dignitaries and a special mention to our academic director, Mrs. Uma Narasimhamurthy, for giving the opportunity to be a part of this inaugural ceremony. Last but not least, I extend my gratitude to all the attendees who have gathered here for the ceremony. Your presence has made this occasion even more memorable and meaningful. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everyone. I request